Okay, hello again. This is Latrina Jones, and this is Module 1, uh, Learning and Planning. This is discussion question 2. We were asked to reflect on a time when we planned something in our lives, reflect on what we did when we organized the event or the activity. Um, what did you do or how you did it? Was it successful? Um, and how did the planning or the lack of planning work? How did it impact or how did it turn out? I am a person with a developmental delay. Was born with several different medical issues and was told that I would not reach um, the age of 6 years old, or I would never have passed a um, sixth grade education. I was able to um, live past the time that I was supposed to, also able to go to school. I got my high school diploma, which no one thought I would. I also got my associate's degree um, in early childhood management, daycare management. And now I'm working on getting my bachelor's degree in early childhood education. This is very difficult for me. So in my life, I've had to plan everything. I have to meticulously um, read and absorb information and try to process it. I'm a auditory learner, so it's easier for me to um, articulate what I've learned versus writing it down. Writing is something very difficult for me because I am dyslexic, as well as the developmental delay. Um, I had to train myself not to stutter when I speak. Um, I was, of course, made fun of and grew up in a very different time when they did not have a lot of resources and they were just starting out integrating and helping children with disabilities and that were not developing at the right stages. So it was difficult for me because I went to school in the 70s. But I have persevered through it all. And so, in saying that, I had to plan out each um, area of my life. I'm not spontaneous in the fact that I'm a little bit anxious. It throws me to have surprises, so I'm not big on surprises. I must be have everything in a order where I can process information that I'm getting and then be able to decipher what's actually being said or what's actually being learned and taught. So, with me, going to school was very difficult, very traumatizing, but I was able to push myself because, in addition to having um, all of the difficulties and growing up with all of the difficulties, I had a very ironclad will. When I did graduate from high school, I was told, okay, that's great. Um, you know, uh, you probably passed because of affirmative action, because people felt sorry for you. They didn't want to not pass a developmentally um, or mentally retarded person. However, I still I took that advice, as I took everything else in my life, being told what I couldn't do, and used it as a basis or a guideline to direct me um, on knowing that with determination and with help, I could succeed in a higher education. I'm unable to work um, normally or what's considered normal. However, I do still do my best to volunteer to also continue to educate myself and not uh, get caught up in um, the day-to-day difficulties and um, the biases that people with um, developmental delays or special needs can't be taught or learn, can't learn. I'm living proof that that's not the case. It's a lot more challenging and difficult for us. However, it's possible, and the reason it's possible is because we can organize. We can. A lot of times we have to make lists. We have to um, go over things multiple times. We tend to repeat ourselves. Um, but um, not planning is not an option for someone like me who has the diagnoses that I do. Um, in order for me to be successful or even fail at something, I still have to plan for it. Like I said, I'm not a surprise type person. So um, where it would take a person with an average understanding to read um, over material and then go ahead and be able to um, answer questions or have a discussion or write a paper. Um, it takes me several times. So I'm constantly planning. I know that I have to read my chapter work, 7 to 8 times, and then break down that information in the process in the way that I need to break down in order to get what is being said and what is being taught. Um, each day, I have a daily routine. So learning how to uh, take a curriculum, um, provide or come up with a lesson plan, and to implement that plan, providing all of the materials, um, all of the outcomes that may happen or may not happen, is something that is not new to me because on a daily basis, that's how I have to live my life in a plan. If you don't plan, um, there is a quote that I believe it says, um, work, uh, um, plan to plan and work that plan. Um, I may be saying it wrong. I'm not very good at memorization. That's why I have to write down everything that I do, or I have to memorize. I have lists. I use dictation software. I uh, read over material several times, and each time going through a process of planning and then implementing what the information that I've processed, what I got out of that, if that makes sense. So hopefully, and like I said in my tutorials, far as the discussion questions, I look forward to my classmates responding to me, um, um, directing me in the direction we need to be, as far as the discussions on the literature and the material that we're all learning and implementing. Again, I hope I've clearly answered the discussion question, and I look forward to having some of your guys' replies. Thank you.